Previously on Snowy River, the McGregor saga. Cousins clash when a love triangle is broken.
Rob, you know how I feel about Victoria, right?
What's it, Luke?
I asked her to marry me, and she said yes.
But Rob won't believe it's true until he hears it from Victoria.
You're marrying him.
Yes, I am. Robbie, I didn't mean to hurt you.
But Oliver won't let his daughter marry a McGregor.
Frank, I'm making it your responsibility. Luke McGregor must not win this election.
While Victoria's dreams of grandeur are shattered.
These are the deeds. The house, the mine, and just about everything else he owns. I'm sorry, my dear, you've obviously been taken in.
But how did you get them?
Luke is bankrupt, my dear. He has nothing. And his wife will have nothing.
The high country ballots are in, and Colin knows who the winner is.
Well, hello. What brings you up here?
I just want to be the first to pay my respects to the Honourable Matt McGregor, MP.
Yeah?
Congratulations.
Thanks, son.
Congratulations, Dad. I knew you'd do it.
Oh, thank you, sweetie.
And Luke finds himself out of politics and all alone.
Victoria! Come with me! I have to see her.
She's changed her mind. She's not going to marry you after all.
Where's Rob got to?
There he is.
Now then, Danny, you mightn't like it, but you got to remember that Rob does.
More fool him. Why are you going to Melbourne? You always say you hate the city.
Well, I've got to be sworn in as a new member of Parliament.
Dad, you'll be meeting the governor. We're going to have to get you a dinner suit, new shirts, a new hat, and I'll get you some of that stuff that smells for your hair. And I'll polish all your shoes.
Danny, this is Parliament, not a fancy dress party. And unfortunately, it's happening right in the middle of our biggest muster that's coming up.
Why don't you leave the muster to me? I can handle it.
Yep, I think you can too.
I'm telling you, it's not worth the candle. The gold's running out.
Gold's not running out.
Well, then they're stealing it.
How many times do I have to say this, Frank? Nobody's stealing the gold, especially not them. I trust Chin with my life.
Yeah, well, it's not the same as trusting him with your gold.
The reef's changed directions, that's all. We're just gonna have to work a little harder to find it.
Like you worked to become a member of Parliament? Like you worked at marrying my sister? Where did that get you?
Don't push your luck, Frank. I won't forget what part you and your father played in that. Chin, let's go find the load. We've only scratched the surface so far. There's more gold in there than you and I could spend in a lifetime.
I'm not paying you lot to sit on your backsides. Go on, get on with it.
Well, these should be quite serviceable.
Mr. McGregor, please. When a man is going to dine with the governor, he does not go looking like a sheep shearer.
Dine with the governor. Danny, for heaven's sake.
Well, you might.
Yes.
Now, how about this?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, but I've got a perfectly good jacket.
Dad, will you please leave this to me? Now, this looks lovely.
Not on your life.
Oh, it suits you, Dad.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm, perfect. We'll take at least 2 of these. No, 3.
No way. Luke?
I need a few more tools, Mr. Fowler. I didn't bring any cash, but my credit's good, right?
No.
Thank you, Mrs. Fowler.
Thank you, Mr. McGregor.
You're looking at the future, Frank. Surveying for the railway.
Heading straight for the O'Neill place.
Great pity, that. But her loss is our gain.
Which is more than I can say for the mine. We could go on searching for the motherlode for weeks. Months. I think we should pull out, sell our share back to Luke.
Then have him find it again, make us all look like fools?
I think it's gone. The gold is finished.
What does Luke think?
What does he know about it? All his Yankee bluster.
I asked you what he thought.
He thinks the reef has changed direction and the men have lost it.
Well, I would say that's probably what's happened. Either way, I've still got him where I want him. Back to work, Frank.
All right, that's lunchtime. Off you go. And what are you two up to?
Nothing, Mum. Michael just said you were going to Melbourne about the railway.
I should, but I don't know if I can afford the time. We've got some cows that are about to calve.
Mr. Kelly and I can look after them. He's very good with calves.
Michael would run a mile at a birthing.
I met Mr. Kelly.
Oh, thanks.
He'd be really offended.
Michael?
No, Mr. Kelly. He'd think you didn't trust him.
Oh, well, we couldn't have that now, could we?
Dad's going down on Thursday's coach to be sworn in.
That'd be something to see. It'd be like the changing of the guard.
Would you like to see it, Michael?
Oh, yeah.
No.
I mean, no. It'd be pretty boring, I suppose.
Why don't you go and have your lunch?
Oh, well, I'd like to see it.
That wasn't the plan. They were supposed to go down without us so they could be alone together.
Why?
Michael, do you want your mother to be an old maid all of her life?
No. She's not an old maid. She's a widow.
I give up.
Gonna be a nice night by the look of it.
Yes.
Nothing wrong, I suppose. Something an old mate could help with.
I was thinking about the railway.
It'll be the ruination of this country, I reckon. Still, that's progress. Can't stand in its way.
Well, I'm going to fight them, Jack. I'm not letting them take my property.
I don't know what you can do to stop them.
Well, I can try. I've decided to go to Melbourne.
Well, heaven help them then.
You'll have to look after the carving.
Yeah, I can manage.
And Michael.
That'll be all right.
It'll just be for a couple of days. I'll go on Thursday.
You might run into Matt McGregor, perchance.
Chin, tea. Thank you. Strange people, Australians. Can't buy a decent cup of coffee for love or money, and they drink this stuff.
We drink tea in China.
You do? Look, I want you to know I don't agree with Frank about your people stealing the gold.
We know that, Luke. You've shown that you trust us.
So long as you know.
I know.
So what do you think, Chen? We find the vein again?
If the vein is there, we'll find it.
Good. Because I need the money. I'm in trouble, Chen. I borrowed heavily, what with the house and that fool idea of running for parliament. And there's the men.
They have families in China, and they send the wages back.
Their wages will be paid. You have my promise.
We don't need your promise, Luke. You say you pay.
All right, Chen. Which way?
This way is very close to the boundary, so there's no point in finding gold for the next man.
Who is it?
It's me.
Emily, I'm just sorting out some decent clothes to take to Melbourne. What's that?
It's a surprise.
Oh, Emily, it's beautiful.
Try it on. I want you to have it.
Emily, I'm going to Melbourne on business. This dress is... it's far too festive.
Kathleen, you deserve a festive gown. Besides, I'm sure it's not going to be all business in Melbourne.
It is beautiful. Thank you.
I appreciate what you're saying, Oliver. Bringing the railhead to Patterson's Ridge would be of enormous benefit to the whole district.
Not in Kathleen O'Neill's eyes, apparently. She's going to oppose it.
Well, it is her land they plan to resume.
The smallest holding in the district. For heaven's sake, what's she got to lose? A pocket handkerchief that should have been part of Balmoral in the first place. You do know what this means to the landholders around here, don't you, Herbert? Bringing the railhead to her property will eliminate days on the road every time we want to get our cattle to market. Days of lost customers, lost cattle, lost time and money. You think I'm going to let a woman stand in the way of progress? It's up to you. If she won't walk off, drive her off.
Just thinking. Good night, darling.
Good night, Mum.
Whoa. Thanks, mate. Well, hello.
I made some sandwiches and a cake for you. You won't get anything until you reach the railhead.
Thank you, Emily. That's very kind of you.
Well, it is going to be a long trip.
Yeah, I just hope the road's all right.
You're not exactly travelling light. Mind telling me what you've got in these cases?
Well, you just ask your sister. I unpacked this one 3 times, and she just packed it up again.
Well, our new member off to Melbourne to be sworn in.
Oliver, come to see me off, have you?
Well, I always like to stay on the right side of the rich and powerful. Unlike some. But for you, he would be on the coach to Melbourne.
Well, I've done Luke no harm, as you well know.
Watch your back in Melbourne, Matt. It's no town for the unwary.
Unlike Patterson's Ridge.
Just remember, This railway is going to be very good for Patterson's Ridge, and you are our elected member. Just make sure you know whose side you're on.
Ah, Herbert. Oh, Max, do us proud of Melbourne, eh? Thank you. Good luck, mate. Thanks, Doc. Jack?
Hey, man.
Kathleen?
Hello, Matt.
You're not coming to Melbourne too, are you?
Yes, didn't you know?
No? Well, this is a pleasant surprise. Where are you staying?
The Coronation Hotel.
What a coincidence, so am I.
Oh, yes, quite a coincidence.
Get up! Yeah! Get up! Get up!
Bye, darling.
I'm not using you.
Well, the whole town's talking about the fact that you and Luke were going to get married, but your father put a stop to it.
That's not true. And how do you know about it anyway?
Your brother's got a big mouth.
Robbie, I can't bear having everyone talk about me like this. And I'm not using you. Honestly, the only friend I have left. The only one I can trust.
I am your friend. And I always will be, I suppose. It's just that most of my life I've been in love with you. I guess that's in the past now.
I see.
I've never been anything to you other than someone who's always been there. Someone who always jumps whenever you call or keeps you company whenever you feel like it.
I'm sorry you feel that way, Robbie.
Victoria, listen to me. I'm not blaming you, and I'm not complaining about it. I guess I enjoy it. It's just too much has happened. Too much has changed. I really want to put it all behind me.
And that's all you've got to say?
Your room's ready now, sir.
Oh, good, thank you.
I hope you have a pleasant stay.
Thank you. I'll take those up.
No, the boy can manage those, sir. And congratulations on your election.
Thank you very much.
Now, where were we? I'm sorry, madam, but we have no record of a reservation in that name. And what with the swearing in of Parliament, I'm afraid there's nothing available.
Is there a problem here?
Well, I wrote for a reservation, but it seems the letter hasn't arrived.
Pardon, ma'am. The lady is a friend of Mr. McGregor?
Yes, we came down together.
Giles? I think we can move number 17 for Miss...
O'Neill. Mrs. O'Neill.
Mrs. O'Neill, of course. Number 17. Overlooking the park and adjoining Mr. McGregor.
Victoria, there's no need for you to be moping around here. You can have your pick of the finest young men in England.
Do you really believe it's another young man I need, Father? Perhaps I'm waiting for you to convince me of what I should do.
You're young and inexperienced. There's nothing wrong with emotion. Well, love, real or imagined. But sometimes it isn't appropriate. You need the rounding and the polishing that only an English society can give you. Try as you might, nothing grows in this godforsaken land. Nothing to compare with an English rose.
And here I will only wither?
Yes, you will. But in England, you'll be the most beautiful rose of them all. In England.
Frank, look, go! Look, Frank. Look at that.
Where?
Right there, look.
That's it? That's more gold than we could ever spend?
What it is, Frank, is evidence that the load's still there and that we're gonna find it.
You don't catch on, do you? Chen Yung is making sure he keeps his job. He'll keep finding traces and building up your stupid hopes as long as they keep getting paid. Wake up, McGregor. One way or another, they're robbing us. And if you think I'm going to go on paying them, you're badly mistaken.
Well, pay him out of my share, Frank.
You must realize, Mrs. O'Neill, that the calls from the governor do not allow him to adjudicate on every minor matter in the colony.
This is not a minor matter to me, Mr. Concannon. The railway department is planning to resume my land, and I intend to put a stop to it.
Ah, I see. Then you must apply through the normal channels to the Department of Railways.
I've already been to the Department of Railways and the Premier's office. They won't help me.
I'm afraid I can't help you either, unless you lodge an application for an appointment.
Mr. Concannon, I do not have time to play games with the bureaucracy. I have a cattle property to manage and a son to raise. Now, I believe it is my right as a citizen to put my case before the governor. And I intend to remain in Melbourne until I've seen him.
Then we must make an appointment for you, must we not? May I suggest 11:30 of the a.m. on the 28th of the month?
It's nearly 4 weeks away.
Precisely. These compensation matters are very tiresome. We do try to spare the governor.
Oh, you were talking about my land, my home.
Shall we say the 28th, then?
No, we shall not.
So, how did it go with the governor?
His secretary refused to let me near him. These compensation matters are so tiresome. Oh.
Kathleen, have you considered what this railhead would mean to Patterson's Ridge? To your friends, your neighbours?
Yes, I have. And I wonder if my friends and neighbours have considered what losing my home will mean to me.
Probably not.
Have you?
Yes, I have. And I know what a loss it'd be to you.
But now that you're the Member of Parliament for the High Country, you have to look at the bigger picture. What's best for your voters?
Well, you did encourage me to stand.
So I've no one to blame but myself.
And since you were partly responsible, I thought you might like to join me when I'm sworn in. By the governor.
Alex Foley's there. There have been other successful mines sunk there. There. And over there.
How successful?
Well, no one's going to get rich from them. But Alex Foley's the only one that struck into the mother lode. Frank's more familiar with it than I am.
The load ran north to south from here to here. We lost it here.
Well?
I shall have to visit the mine and take assay samples from the exploratory drives.
Which will tell us what?
It will tell us nothing, but it will indicate a great deal where the load may be and how rich it is. I can keep this?
Yes. One thing. Can this be done at night?
It's always night in a mine.
Good. Tonight, then, Frank will show you. And Luke is not to know.
He won't know. Let's just give them time to settle down. It'll be dark soon.
You don't have a security guard?
At the moment, we don't have anything to guard.
You're part owner of this mine, right?
Yeah.
So, why does this partner of yours scare you so much?
Because he's a crazy yank. He carries a gun, and he's likely to shoot before he sees who he's shooting.
Here, put this on my horse. You can wait at Balmoral. Yeah. Tuck into that.
What is it?
Old family recipe. My dad used to call it train smash.
What's in it?
Oh, eggs, tomatoes, onions, all sort of mixed up. You ever seen a train smash?
When's Mum coming home?
Ah, the American gentleman, I gather.
I guess I don't have to tell you, mister. But the law allows me to shoot anyone I find stealing from my claim.
I am afraid you have been misinformed. That's a story that's been put about by miners. In this country, you shoot anybody, you hang.
Maybe we'll just have to find out who's right.
Well, if we're going to shoot anyone, perhaps it should be my employer.
And who might that be?
Your partner, Mr. Blackwood. Look, I'm a mining engineer, Mr. McGregor. And as Mr. Blackwood's employee, I have every right to be here. He is, after all, only protecting his investments.
By assaying the gold yield.
He has a right to know.
It's gonna be hard to make an assay without samples.
Making my job very difficult, Mr. McGregor.
If my partner wants to know about the gold, all he has to do is ask. Now get out.
Good night, sir.
You sent that man to spy on me, Blackwood.
You may be excused, Victoria, if you wish.
I'm not very hungry. Excuse me.
You're wrong, Luke. If I'd wanted any information about the mine, I'd have simply asked. We are, after all, partners.
He said he was working for you.
You sure he said me or just Mr. Blackwood?
How many Blackwoods are there?
The man obviously meant Frank. Frank usually takes his duties and responsibilities a little too seriously, often in a vain attempt to impress me.
Well, it didn't impress me.
I take it you got rid of this chap without his samples?
I thought so. Then it occurred to me that saddlebags come in pairs.
Frank!
Father?
I saw you with a saddlebag this morning. Bring it here.
Oh, well,
Bring it here. I'm sorry about this, Luke. I hope you believe me. Give it to him.
Well,
Give it to him. Satisfied? You completed the assay?
I worked all night. Pleasure to do business with you, gentlemen.
Breakfast is over. I want you to get out of the district and don't come back.
Right.
And keep your mouth shut.
Did you design the bill of sale?
if you're sure in a hurry.
I've done a good deal. I want you changing your mind.
I want to buy these horses back, Charlie. I'm going to hit the mother lode again soon, and I want them back, all right?
Look, this is a business, and if someone wants them, I'll sell them. Put these fancy horses with your pride and joy.
Just shut up and give me the money, Charlie.
Now, gentlemen, very still, please.
Kathleen?
Matt.
Gentlemen, if you'll excuse us. I thought you might like to have that chat with the governor.
Yes.
Your Excellency, may I present Mrs. Kathleen O'Neill of Patterson's Ridge.
Ah, so this is the young lady, McGregor.
Your Excellency.
Are all your constituents this handsome? Make a note, Concannon. Time we took a formal trip to the high country.
Oh, that's very kind of you, Your Excellency. I wonder if I might have a moment of your time.
I've already told Mrs.
Perhaps if
O'Neill
you spoke to my secretary.
Mrs. O'Neill has already spoken to Mr. Concannon, sir.
Not to mention the Department of Railways and the Premier's office.
Yes, I'm sure you understand, McGregor. Must go through channels.
Of course, Your Excellency. But as Mrs. O'Neill is a constituent, I was under the impression that every citizen has a right of final appeal to her queen. Through you, of course, sir.
I already offered an appointment.
I'll be through here in half an hour, madam. Perhaps you'll join me for tea.
Oh, I'd be delighted, Your Excellency. Thank you so much.
You too, McGregor.
Thank you.
Might as well get to know each other. Get the feeling I'll be seeing quite a lot of you.
Oh, thank you, Matt. I don't know how to repay you.
I'll think of something.
So you see, dear lady, I would be failing in my duty were I to allow the high country to be denied the benefits of government transport. Right, McGregor? Of course, you would still have the Cobb and Co. coaches.
And that's not much good for transporting cattle.
Indeed. So you realize it can only be in the form of a recommendation, but I fancy that if I have a word in the Premier's ear, and also the Minister for Railways, I'm sure that rather than alienate our newest Member of Parliament, they may be inclined to adopt the compromise he has suggested.
What compromise?
I'll leave that for McGregor to explain.
Excellency.
Dear lady, McGregor, you will, of course, be attending our little dance this evening to welcome our new members. I trust McGregor won't begrudge me one dance with you, ma'am.
Excellency. What compromise?
Well, the railway doesn't need all your property. The line can be brought in along the boundary, with a few acres for cattle yards, shunting, that sort of thing, all well away from the homestead. Well, you'll hardly know they're there. And, of course, you'll be recompensed.
So I can stay?
You can stay, and you'll be a wealthy woman.
You arranged all this?
Well, you are one of my voters.
Oh, Matt. Thank you.
Thank you. And Chen, thank you.
Can you afford this?
I can afford it. Buys me a few more weeks. Let's just hope it's enough.
Let's hope.
Thanks.
You really must decide what you'll need on the voyage. Once the trunks are in the ship's hold, then we won't be able to reach them until we get to England.
Then I'll just have to carry more trunks in my cabin. I really can't be expected to concern myself with these details.
I hope you're taking everything you need, sister dear. Or at least enough for a year or two. I'd hate to think you'd have to hurry back.
I wonder if you'll still be here when I get back, Frank? Or will Father have finally had enough of you and sent you packing?
You're the one who's been sent packing. It was just a matter of time before he saw through you.
Could you please pack my pink bonnet, Miss Cavill?
I've already packed it.
Then pack the blue one, please.
Oh, yes, of course.
Don't fool yourself, Frank. Father is sending me to England for a very good reason. Have you thought about that?
What? What reason?
To become mistress of Balmoral. Why else?
He's sending you to get rid of you.
You just don't understand, do you, Frank? I'll write to you, brother dear, in case you miss me. Not a word to my father.
You look beautiful.
Well, thank you, Matt.
Shall we go?
Matt. I don't really want to go in there with all those people.
Well, I'm not that keen on it either. But I do want to dance with you. I love you, Kathleen. I think I always have.
I know.
What do you want?
I had to see you. I have to talk to you.
I came to your house. We could have talked then. Why didn't we?
My father was there. I wanted to come to you, but you know what he's like. I can't stand up to him. Luke, all I've ever wanted is to be with you.
What about Rob?
What about you and Anita? Look, he's sending me away. I leave tomorrow. I just wanted to tell you I'm so sorry. I didn't want to do anything to...
Come in.
Your aunt will meet you at the docks, and your allowance will be paid into the Bank of England in Leicester Square.
Daddy, please, I don't want to go.
I don't want you to go either. But you must. It's for the best. Write to me.
I will. I will.
Victoria.
You know I have to go. Goodbye, Luke.